My fiancée cheated on me before the wedding with a coworker of hers and we finally got divorced. This is what happened to me. About 10 months before the wedding, she had cold feet, and we almost called things off. She said she wasn't sure about getting married, she couldn't delineate a clear reason why, we talked a lot, I gave her space, she went to stay with her parents for a few days. After a week or two of this hesitancy, we had a conversation and she said that she absolutely wanted to be together. We ended up getting married in the summer of 2021. A couple months pass, and she starts a new job. Then somebody else starts, this new guy who she thinks it's really funny. She tells me a lot of stories about him. I start to get a weird feeling. I met a guy once, and after work, and he gave me the impression of being mean. A couple weeks later, I'm working late, she's out to drinks with coworkers, and she's out later than expected. We shared our locations on our phone, I started to get a little nervous, so I checked in, but she didn't text back. So that's when I check her location and she's at McDonald's, she sat there for almost an hour. Then she finally pulls back to my place, but she's sitting outside for probably a half an hour. I take my dog out and it turns out that guy drove her home, it's just the two of them sitting in my driveway chatting away. I walk over and she gets out of the car, he tries to shake my hand. When she comes in, I said that was totally over the line and unacceptable and I don't want them spending time one-on-one like that. She seems remorseful, says that she overstepped a line, didn't mean anything by it. I believe her because prior to that I had no reason to really suspect any infidelity from her. A week or two later, toward the end of April, she goes on a weekend trip to Colorado with some friends who had moved there. She comes back, and she's cold and distant. I tried talking to her, she goes to bed early. 3 days later, it was my second to last day of work at a particular job that had been difficult and frustrating. After my shift, we all go out for drinks, and I invited her to come. She comes dressed in sweatpants and looks mean, is quiet and not her normal, bubbly self. And frankly acts a little rude. At the end of the night, we get home, I ask her what's up. It was like pulling teeth, she finally said that she did not want to be together. I ask her why, she says she doesn't really know, she doesn't think we're a good fit, blah blah blah. I keep asking her a ton of questions, is she a lesbian, is there another guy, she says she doesn't know what she wants out of life and can't imagine putting me through having kids if she's not certain. I'm up all night trying to talk to her, she just falls asleep. The next morning, she leaves. Her Google account was logged in on my computer, and I found searches like ended my marriage for another man. I found her searching for their astrological sign compatibility, song lyrics all over the past month. Looking this guy up on Google, she came to get her stuff one day while I was at work. She left one single mug, a Christmas mug, that said, Joy. When we moved into our apartment we had found a sticky note on the wall that just said, Yikes. We left it up because it was kind of a dingy apartment and we thought it was funny. She thought it would be funny, or maybe her AP thought it would be funny, to leave that Joy mug on my counter, with the Yikes sticker stuck on it. I texted him asking him what that was, he said he just thought it would be funny. Divorce went pretty quickly and smoothly, it was a no contest, because we don't have children. She had no interest in having our dog, she left the apartment to me and basically all my stuff. In that regard, she was merciful. I remember in the process of doing this, I asked her if she thought I'd never find out that she cheated on me. She said she didn't cheat on me. I told her, well, thank you for leaving, I didn't know what kind of person you were, and I would never want to be married to a W*** like you. You are a monkey brancher, and I can't imagine a relationship would ever go well between somebody who doesn't respect marriages, frequent strip clubs, and somebody who would leave their husband. Sorry for the wall of text, I used voice to speak so some of it might not make sense, but I'm gonna proofread it. This is the first time I'm telling my story here. We've been out of touch since August. Frankly, I don't think she cares, and I'm slowly coming to not care at all whether she cares or not. It took me so long to not just be in total shock. My New Year's resolution is to leave her in the past and stop thinking about her and focus entirely on myself. Easier said than done. Since then, I've lost 20 pounds, I've been hitting the gym several times per week and I'm seeing muscle gains. I joined a Bible study, I go to church every week, I traveled to Colorado myself with my brother, and I've now booked a trip to Europe. I had 6 weddings this year to go to, including my sister's. Those were very difficult in light of what happened, but I went to all of them. My new job has been awesome. I've gotten a lot of dates, but I just haven't found anybody that I feel compatible with yet. I'm scared that I won't be able to find that. Part of me is glad she left. I'm not sure I would have had the strength to leave without knowing she was pursuing something else. If she was disrespectful enough to pursue something else, she was unworthy of my time or effort. The failure rate for her and her new boyfriend is 73%. You just got rid of some dead weight. Keep doing you, you'll be just fine with finding a real wife. I'm sure it hasn't been easy from what you've described, but the narrative shows that you've dealt with it better and faster than most and that you're on the right track. I can't find any advice to give you, just don't think you have to be with someone. You don't have to put up with anyone's character flaws, don't go further with people who have traits that make you uncomfortable. Your goal in life is not to be with someone but to be happy. You can and should do this on your own. If you find someone you can share it with, it's good but necessary. Best wishes for New Year. OP, thanks for the kind words. I come from a big family, and I always wanted to have a family of my own, so I think that made me feel a little bit pressure to make things work. Now seeing what happens when you try to force something that's not completely natural, I recognize that patience is a virtue. Chin up, brother. People cheat because they're never satisfied with what they have, and don't want to improve themselves to do so with their partner. While it is unfortunate you were married to someone who monkey-branched, which is really a horrible form of cheating, I am glad that you were able to get a better life afterwards, as that's usually not the case for a lot of the betrayed, sadly, not immediately. At times you will crash, and at those times, remember that you're where you are now because she has made her choice, so you make yours to move onward. OP, thank you. Some days are diamonds, and some days are stone. The biggest thing that I noticed at the days that are bad I am thinking about her, the days that are good I'm thinking about myself. Your post makes it sound like she has a weak concept of what a marriage is. She just turned it into a relationship until something more thrilling comes along. I suspect she will learn she threw away a good thing for cheap thrills. You're spot on in your assessment of her relationship worthiness. OP, thanks friend. Seems that way after the fact for sure, and I wish I could tell myself to let her go the first time she had doubts. The part where she and her AP left the mug with joy written on it and the note, is cruel. What a nasty side she has. I am glad you are moving on and hope your trip to Europe will be fun for you. Given her shallowness, why did she even get married in the first place? I wish better for you. OP, I'm still not sure why she did it. Maybe she thought being married gave her legitimacy or status. Honestly didn't know she was capable of being cruel like that until after she split. She became so cold and businesslike. She was kind of emotionless at times while together, but I chalked it up to her having difficulty expressing emotions. Now I realize she was brewing resentment. Sorry to hear of your pain, but glad you're looking at the positives and are improving yourself regardless. Yes, she's absolutely been emotionally cheating. It's just as bad. Who knows whether that's extended to anything physical? If not, was she looking at you when you were being intimate, or was she somewhere else? It's all the same. It's all bad and you're better off without it. Onwards and upwards. Your wife sounds like someone who falls in and out of love quickly. She is always going to be in the hunt for that new high. She going to wake up one day, alone, and wonder what the hell her issue is. She will be a distant memory for you by then, someone you haven't thought of in years. You'll think to yourself, maybe it'll touch base with her to see how she's doing. You'll forget that after 15 minutes when your new wife calls you to tell you that she was thinking about you and how much she loves you. Good luck. Take some time to yourself. Do not get into a relationship for at least a year. It is hard, but you will find out who you are without anyone influencing you. I waited about 2 years before I dated someone. I did have plenty of girls around, I just was not interested or ready to date seriously. I am glad I did. It taught me that it's okay to be alone. That's the hard part about all of this. You see the red flags but you're afraid to do anything about it because being alone is completely terrifying when you're in a serious relationship. Also take a no red flag policy. If one pops up, send that person packing. We like to think it will be different for us, but it never is. Time will heal this, just make sure you learn from what has happened.